Thank you. Welcome everybody to a special meeting of the Human Relations Commission. It's September 2nd, and we have a very tight meeting. We'll begin with roll call, please, Mary.
Commissioner Lee,
Present.
Commissioner Regier,
Here.
Commissioner Savage,
Present.
Chair Smith, Vice Chair Stinger.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any speakers in the public to speak to items that are not on the agenda?
Looks like there's somebody there. Are you looking at that, Minka?
Yes, so we have one person with a raised hand. I'm Kat Snyder. So Kat, are you interested in speaking about something not on the agenda or something on the agenda? If it's something on the agenda, we will go through those one by one. So at this point, we're only looking at things that are not on the agenda. Okay, so it looks like you want to speak to something not on the agenda. So what is interesting is that my buttons look different than usual. So I will hit chat.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna put the clock up.
Okay, hold on.
Introduce oral comments. I'm going to ask you, Kat, to speak very quickly. I'm going to give you a minute, maybe roll over.
Hold on a minute, please.
Tell me when to share the screen.
Hold on, I'm trying to, have I been given host privileges? Because,
Oh, that's probably why I didn't do that.
yeah, if you could please do that, that is, that's why I wasn't able to unmute Kat.
I'm sorry, Minka.
That's okay.
There we go.
There we go. So Kat, are you here to speak on something that is not on the agenda?
Yeah, that's right. I was hoping to talk about police reform, which I don't think is on the agenda.
That's fine. So you have 1 minute to do so. Please go ahead. Thank you for calling.
Okay. So I'm not going to be able to do this inside of 1 minute, but I'll do my best and I'll submit a written version. I just basically went through some research about Lexapol because it came up so much in the meetings that I thought I wanted to do due diligence on them. I had a couple articles I read, and I had one idea that I thought was kind of actionable on our part through the police department. Since they're a subscriber, I thought that there are certain things that they could ask as a subscriber that would provide some transparency that I think the entire state needs, because basically Lexapol is the policymaker for the entire state, and they're not super transparent. So I have this all written down, so I'll just send this to you guys in an email in a few minutes.
Great, Kat, if you do that, then I will ensure that it is forwarded to the commission members.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in.
And I'd like to thank you, Kat, for being so efficient with your time. We are having to be really strict. We wanted to call a special meeting for the 2 agenda items, but we only have 30 minutes when all of us are available. So we're parsing it out very carefully. We will come back to a regular session in October. And if you want to elaborate on your document, we would appreciate that very much. Thank you for joining us. Are there any other speakers?
I do not see any other attendees, Chair.
Okay. I'll begin with agenda item 1, which is to describe an eviction moratorium informational meeting. It's being organized by a community organizer who has invited 3 speakers. A representative from the city, Rachel Tanner, speaking on the city's eviction moratorium. Silicon Valley at Home. The speaker will address the county and state moratorium. And then Life Moves will talk about resources available to tenants, evicted tenants. The idea for this program originated in discussions that were had where they realized that the eviction moratorium was misunderstood, and that was among tenants and among the nonprofits who counsel tenants. And it became quickly clear to the group that they needed to present the information to the community. Angie contacted the chair and vice chair and asked for our endorsement. What that would do is give some support to Rachel Tanner, who's representing the City Planning and Services Department, and to the other speakers, and would allow us to use our distribution list to advertise the availability of an informational meeting. So I'd like to ask if I can, if there are any questions, any comments, and then ask for a motion to endorse the program.
Do you have a date and time?
September 10th, which is why we're doing it at a special meeting. It's an evening meeting. I think it's 5 to 6:30.
Will it be recorded so that folks can watch it later?
I don't know that, Stephen. I rather doubt it, but I don't know that. I'll have to find out. It's a good suggestion.
So I would move to have the commission formally endorse the event.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? And can we have a vote? Can we do it by raising hands, or should we call out names?
I would prefer that you call out names, Vice Chair.
Can Mary help me with that, please? Or I guess I can do that. Commissioner Lee?
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Regier?
Aye.
Commissioner Savage?
Aye.
Vice Chair Stinger, aye. That passes 4-0. We're going to move on to agenda item 2. I'm going to let Commissioner Regier take the lead on that. I think it's important just to start as an introduction to say a lot has gone on in the time between March and September that we don't have a history of, because we met so rarely, and when we did meet, we had a focus on the 8 Can't Wait, and then on moving on to racism. When we are fully chaired and ready to begin in October, I hope that we'll have a chance to catch up on the history and push the agendas forward. But in the meantime, there's a time critical element. And Patty, would you describe that to us?
Sure. On prior to this, we'd met, Commissioner Lee and Commissioner Smith and I had met with the Safe Parking Lot group with the city, and we met right before our meeting was supposed to be taking place. So that is why some of the commissioners, we couldn't bring it up because we haven't had a meeting to discuss it. But on September 14th, the City Council will be asked to do 2 things: approve leasing of the site at 900, is it Ging Road? Ging Road to the county, and to amend the local safe parking ordinance, because now you can't stay overnight, to allow 24/7 parking on the land zone for the public facilities. And myself, I encourage the council to give the safe parking proposal careful consideration. It's been well vetted by quite a few people, and some of us have been working with Mountain View and their safe parking lot. They have 30 people in one parking lot. They have 29 in another. This one's going to only have 12, and it's a pilot program. And the county is going to lease it from the city, so there's not that much financial obligations to the city. And Mountain View, also we're going to contract out to the same organization that contracts out to Mountain View. So, and it's part of our work plan, housing and homelessness. So I think that that it's an important thing for us to endorse, and encourage this council. That's it.
Let's see, are there any speakers in the public?
So Commissioner Lee has his hand up.
Are there any, is there no public speaker?
There, it is the same speaker attendee as earlier who stated that they wish to speak to something that was not on the agenda, Vice Chair.
Commissioner Lee, then we'll move to commissioner comments and questions. Commissioner Lee?
I just had one question. Is the size of the lot, the 12 slots, is that limited by the size of the lot itself, or?
Yeah, so the county went and they looked at the structure, and they're gonna have to put some fences up. And it was used as the temporary firehouse. So there's already showers right there, and there's a kitchen. And so they don't have to do, put any showers in or anything. So so what they figured is 12 is the optimum space.
Okay, so we can't have any more than 12. Okay, cool. Then I support the initiative. And I would hope that the city moves quickly on this pilot, as well as looking at other possible parking lots as well. This particular initiative has taken the city. We pretty much have been working on it since I've been on the commission, so for over 3 years. Meanwhile, other cities like Woodward City have stood up much larger parking lots in 7-month periods. So while I support this initiative, I would encourage our city council and our city to look at accelerating this initiative and expanding it to serve more people in Palo Alto. And with that, sorry, do you want to present, is there a motion or particular thing that you're asking for?
I was wanting us to encourage the city council to adopt those two things. One is the safe parking lot pilot program, and also to change the ordinance to 24/7.
So Commissioner Regier, so how it's stated on the agenda is consideration of a letter of support. So if there are elements, and the vote on that would give authority to someone to write this letter on behalf of the Human Relations Commission. So endorsement may go through means of a letter.
The letter, right.
That's how it's agendized.
Right.
So if there are elements that commissioners would like to include in this letter, that is fine. But then you or Vice Chair Stinger, just there needs to be some clarity on who will write the letter and send it to the city council, or if they send it to me and I will send it on to the city council.
But we need to make a motion, right?
That is correct. But you had spoken earlier about that you wanted to endorse it, but I just wanted to be clear that it mirrors what the business of what the agenda said we were going to do, and that was a consideration of a letter.
Okay.
So I would move that we authorize Commissioner Regier and Vice Chair Stinger to write a letter on behalf of the HRC supporting the Safe Parking Lot initiative and the associated code changes.
Could we add a little bit, because I also think that's important for one of us to speak at the city council on this item, not just in the letter, because sometimes the letter just gets lost.
And to authorize both Commissioner Regier and Stinger to speak on our behalf at the meeting.
I second it.
And if we could just have it restated so that Mary can write it down so we could adequately note it in the minutes.
So I move that we authorize Commissioner Regier and Vice Chair Stinger to author a letter on behalf of the Human Relations Commission supporting the Safe Parking Lot initiative and its associated zoning changes, and to authorize Commissioner Regier and Vice Chair Stinger to speak at the City Council meeting on the Commission's behalf.
Thank you.
Perfect. I second it.
Are there any comments on the motion that's on the floor? We move to a vote. Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Regier,
Aye.
Commissioner Savage,
Aye.
Vice Chair Stinger, aye. I think we have no other, so that passes. Commissioner Regier and I will represent the commission at the September 4th with a letter and at the council meeting on September 14th. I believe there's no other business. So I'd like to just do a couple things. Thank you, Councilmember Tanaka, for joining us. We gave you 0 notice and 0 time, so I really think that was a yeoman's job. Thank you very much.
Well, if it shows up on my calendar and I'm available, I'm like, I'm usually I'll show up, right? But if I don't get calendar invite, I probably won't be there.
Well, thank you for getting on the calendar, staff, and thank you for coming. I appreciate that very much.
And thank you guys for your work. It was a very efficient meeting.
I'm glad you didn't say railroaded. Commissioner Lee, thank you for your service. We appreciate it. And just a shout out, I hope that our chair and his family are healthy and safe. And we will meet again in September. Unless I hear an objection, the meeting is adjourned.
Whoa.
I want the record.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, staff.
Bye-bye.